You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. And finally, realestate.com.kh Expo returned on 2nd and 3rd of July at the Premier Center Sensok. Some of the biggest names and brands in the Cambodian market were gathering for the premier property show of the year. Scores of people came to see the biggest real estate expo in Cambodia.
After a 2-year absence due to COVID-19, realestate.com.kh held their biggest expo for the year. The expo brought up the country's most well-known developers, projectors, agencies, banks, insurance providers, telecom companies and many more other services all in one place. Visitors were happy to be able to come to one place and look at the new developments and get some bargains. EAC News went up to the expo to explore an upcoming prime real estate properties and home services offered to Cambodia. Tom O'Sullivan, CEO of realestate.com.kh, also spared some of his time to explain to us about the expo and the future of the real estate market for Cambodia. realestateagent.com.kh had brought together all the leading properties, developers, real estate agents, bank insurance companies in one place. They also organised some guest speakers to explain the market.
What we've done is brought together all the leading property developers, real estate agencies, banks, insurance companies together all in one place for people to come and look at multiple developments and really be able to make an assessment of what they might be looking to buy in the market. In combination, we also have industry-leading seminars across the 2 days. So we had the real estate and pawn shop broker in this morning, as well as the National Bank of Cambodia, the Credit Bureau and CBRE. This afternoon will bring sort of more of the projects, so Bore Bospa and Prince Real Estate launching their new Bore, as well as some other sort of leading local agencies talking about the market. And then we'll also have a lot of seminars tomorrow.
EAC News asked Tom about the concept of the expo and what does realestate.com.kh do for the real estate industry and what kind of people are coming.
Absolutely, it is an extension of our business. So realestate.com.kh is a platform business, and we bring together all the property in one place in a convenient place online. But part of our job, or part of what we're trying to do, is move the Cambodian market from offline to online. So by doing these expos, it's a representation of our business, but it's a physical event. All the developers offer some of the best deals all year round at these events, and they also come with the banks and come with the insurance. So not only can you sort of work out whether, what properties you like, but you can go next door and speak to the bank and work out whether you can afford the property or not. It's definitely picked up this year, but definitely buyers need to be more cautious than before. Or I think buyers are more educated than before, right? Between 2015 and 2019, it seemed certainly in the condominium space, it seemed like developers could just build whatever they wanted, do some fancy marketing, and it was going to sell to someone. It's different if you're targeting local Cambodians. Payment terms need to be a bit more flexible. And then in the Bore space, the middle-class Cambodian dream is to buy a property in a Bore, right? However, there is a lot more competition and a lot more choice for buyers now, because a lot of the traditional condominium developers are going into the Bore market. So we're seeing competition among developers sort of heat up. There's still huge demand for that local sort of Bore landed property.
Also discussed with Tom was about the future growing in general in Cambodia.
I think it's also got huge upside in this market at the moment, and by Aeon Mall opening Aeon 3, which is going to be much bigger than Aeon 2, and companies like Chipmong launching some of these big projects, it's only attracting more multinational brands into the market. So it's something to look forward to for us, local consumers and expats and Cambodians that live here, but it also helps promote the country. Because when someone from overseas travels to Cambodia and sees, oh, this brand's here and that brand's here and that brand's here, that's sort of part of the due diligence for a buyer. So whilst it's probably been one of the parts of the market that's hurt the most during COVID, I think it's one of the parts of the market that's got the most upside for sure.
Overall, organisers were very happy with the turnout over the last 2 days in the expo and looking forward to the next event. CBRE Managing Director and guest speaker at the Expo, Lawrence Lennon, from one of the biggest real estates in Southeast Asia, explained what is happening with real estate in Cambodia to EAC News. Lawrence Lennon mentioned that the expo was well organised and had a great turnout. He felt Cambodia is going forward in real estate and was safe for foreigners to buy and invest in Cambodia.
It is a very rapidly changing market. So there are certain areas of the market, for instance, the office or the retail segment, which are transforming very rapidly. Over the past 4 years during the pandemic itself, Siem Reap is probably one of the most interesting destinations, and that's heavily down to the organic, sort of quite self-sustaining growth activity that we see there, both from a hospitality standpoint, but increasingly so from a second home standpoint. So actually, if you ask me where one of the most interesting spots, it's Siem Reap, and without a doubt, that comes down to Angkor Wat, without a doubt. Secondly, we see Sihanoukville developing. The government's massively getting behind Sihanoukville from a development perspective. They're looking to create a multi-purpose special economic zone. So
we also spoke to Chi Lamseng, Head of Digital Business for WeWatch, on how the Expo benefits his company and other companies at the Expo, and what WeWatch brings to the Expo and the Cambodian people. WeWatch is happy with the Expo is back. It gives chance for the Cambodian people to be able to come to one place and see all the things they need to buy properties and things for their home, like our product. WeWatch has invested and built in the first and only cloud-native TV with the latest cloud technologies, aiming to take the whole TV experience to a new era, the era of digital, Web3, blockchain, the era leading towards metaverse. WeWatch also helps to support Cambodian government target of the TV digitalisation by 2025. We are a Cambodian company. We develop local talents and support local business. Overall, organisers were very happy with the turnout over the last 2 days in the Expo and looking forward to the next event.